Come on in, sit right down. Keep your hands up and keep your chin down. Shut the door. Time to go with Randy Harris and Knockout Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, Knockout Radio with Randy Harris is about to start. So get ready for the best MMA talk, games, interviews, prizes, and surprises anywhere. For Knockout Radio, I'm the voice, Ray Flores, and you can follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/Ray Flores MMA, or facebook.com/Ray Flores MMA. And now, here's Knockout Radio.
Hello. Hey, everybody.
What is going on, everybody?
How you doing?
It's sunny.
I'm asking you guys what's going on.
Well,
Is it
normally
sunny?
you don't ask how we're doing.
Well, and that's why I'm making sure.
You
that
say,
I-
hey, everybody, and you get right into it.
You have to be reminded.
Well, I wasn't reminded. That's why I figured.
You've been taking your ginkgo biloba,
I've been taking my meds today,
ginkgo balboa.
so I'm calmed
That's
down. Even though I've spent 20 freaking minutes on the phone with Brighthouse Networks.
How'd that go?
Not well. No, nobody knows anything about Fox Sports 1.
Really?
That's good.
Nothing. They didn't even know anything. Nothing. I'm like, can you tell me? Because I was trying to get channels and will it, won't it? Nobody knows anything. Now, I understand, Sean, you know what you said when you first walked in. Nothing signed, nothing's agreed upon, nothing. We're 3 days away. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, 3 days away.
Carry the one.
Yeah, carry
Toes-
the one,
toes or
minus
hands?
2. I used them all.
Oh, okay.
Wouldn't you think?
You'd think that's something that they'd be up on?
You think?
Ask Viacom. I wonder if they know what they're doing.
Now, when I went to Wikipedia, which tends to know very little about anything, Fox Sports 1 is taking over Speed,
Yes.
which right now it's not a free channel because it's cable, but it comes with your cable package.
Your basic package.
Your basic package. Fox Sports 2 is replacing Fuel, which costs moolah.
Yes.
You think it'd be the other way around?
You would think.
But, like I said, I believe it was last week, they're negotiating. That's why nothing's been done yet, because they're trying to bump up the price, they being Fox, bump up the price that the cable provider is going to have to pay to air that channel.
And this was the 26 Vice 87 cents
Yeah,
thing
which
you were
means
talking about, right?
Fox Sports 1, more than likely, on Brighthouse will become a paid channel.
Now, my question, my problem, my complaint, my whatever.
You have a complaint?
Yeah, shocking.
No way.
Shocking. If they're going to charge 86 cents, I'm cool with paying 86 cents a month.
Yes. That's how I would take it, is 86 cents a month.
Okay. I'll pay 86 cents a month for it.
For every subscriber, though.
I'll pay 86 cents a month.
They won't charge you 86 cents, though.
Right. They'll charge
$10.99.
$17.99,
Yeah.
which is crap. How about you do channels? How about if you're a TV network that you can pick and choose what channels you want?
But then you have to be locked in for a certain amount of time.
And I'm okay with that.
2 years.
At 86 cents a month.
Per channel.
Per channel.
Or whatever their cost is.
That's fine. Break me all the way back down. The 100 and whatever I'm paying now. Go back down to 0, and I will pay 86 cents a month for every channel that I want. How's that?
Yeah. Okay.
I don't need 272 channels. I don't need the Spanish channels. I don't need BET. I don't need the hunting channel. Let me get the channels that I want.
He wants the Food Network
I want the Food Network.
and the 4-letter network.
I'll take that.
And that's about it.
No, I'll take Fox Sports 1.
Okay.
Because the UFC is on it. There's
The
a
3-letter network.
UFC Wednesday night program, which is now going to be on according to Wikipedia.
Huh.
So,
Very reliable source.
yeah, sure it is.
Got to go with what you know.
So it's aggravating. It's aggravating for fans. I'm sure it's aggravating for the people negotiating. I know that Dana said in the press conference, whatever day it was, he's not concerned about it, and normally 9 out of 10 times, 99 out of 100 times, it's down to the midnight. They push it back and everything gets done.
Can you imagine if it doesn't?
Oh, that would be rough.
It's not signed anywhere.
Oops.
Uh-oh.
Talk about letting something fall through the cracks.
But that's not a UFC problem.
No, but
Financially, it would be.
No, it's not.
You don't think so?
Why would it be a financial problem to the UFC?
Because that's a lot of people that they could be drawing in sooner.
sponsors, commercials that should have been run during that fight.
I'm not sure that they do they get the commercials?
I don't know.
They're being paid now by Fox to run X amount of events per whatever. So this is a product that they're providing to Fox Sports 1. And then that's all on Fox.
Now, for the Super Bowl, the CBS, NBC, all that stuff, they make the money, the $2 million on the commercial?
I believe
Nothing
so.
goes to the NFL?
I believe so. Well, what goes to the NFL is the $2.6 billion
that they paid for the
that
TV
they paid
rights.
for the rights. So I would assume, I'm not an attorney, but I play one on this show. I would assume X goes to the UFC per year. They have to provide X amount of programming to the network.
So this wouldn't count towards their program.
Sure it would.
It wasn't on.
That's not the UFC's problem.
It wasn't aired.
That's not the UFC's
Breach
problem.
of contract.
That's not the UFC's problem. If I have a contract with an advertiser, with a sponsor, okay, and we have a deal, here's the deal. I will run, and I've had this issue before. I will run X amount of commercials per week, and they don't provide the commercial to me. That's on me. I mean, that's on them. That's their problem. That's their fault. I'm waiting for the commercial. Now, if they provide the commercial to me, it's up to me to get it on. The UFC or Zuffa has provided the programming. The event will be in Boston. It's going to happen. It's there. It's now up to Fox it's Fox's deal. They don't get the money. Zuffa doesn't get the money of whatever, Fox is negotiating with all these cable channels.
Because they got paid.
They're already being paid, whether
whatever
they're paid
the deal is.
right, whether they're paid up front, whether they're going to get the money, whatever it is, they get a check every whatever. So this all falls on Fox Sports to negotiate the deals with the cable companies and the satellite companies and whatever. Do you think because of even though Dana said the other day he's not concerned about it, he's not sweating over it, he's not concerned, he's not worried, I have found this event, for it being the event that it is, for being Chael Sonnen, the co-main event, Travis Browne, who will be on the program here in a half an hour or so, this is a pretty decent card.
Top to bottom, yeah.
I haven't heard anything anywhere.
Nope.
I've seen a couple commercials.
Chael's been quiet.
Chael's been quiet. Everybody's been quiet. And all the hoopla. Now, I know in Boston it's probably going absolutely bonkers. I had to make a really tough decision. I don't know if I should talk about this. No, I'm going. I'm definitely going.
That's what I thought.
I just didn't know, do I cover the New England Patriots versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Friday night? Or do I go with credentials, with photo rights, with backstage for KISS on Friday? KISS is performing for the Arena Bowl, which is this weekend in Orlando.
Okay.
Had to make a corporate decision.
And
driving to Orlando.
I'm driving to Orlando.
That's the one I.
It's preseason.
It's preseason.
It's preseason.
And you saw about Brady today, right?
Well, we have it on the satellite. What's going on?
Knee injury, left practice.
Really?
So he probably won't be playing either.
Well, it's preseason. Who cares?
Tim Tebow 3/4. That's what I'm talking about.
Who cares? It really doesn't. It's preseason. I don't care about preseason. So I'm going to go cover Arena. Then I'm going to go to
You're
KISS.
not covering Arena anything. You're covering KISS.
Well, no. Arena's there or KISS is there for Arena. So I'm doing for my day job. I'm going to go up and
Took
cover.
one for the team.
I took one. I'm going to go cover the KISS concert.
Going to Four River Smokehouse?
I certainly am.
How much are we going to be talking about the Arena Bowl?
On the Friday show, we will. We're not going to talk about it much tonight other than...
Not tonight, but yeah.
You guys have fun with that.
With the Friday?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be on the road.
We'll see.
All right, so
We'll see.
I am disappointed in the fact that not a lot of news, not a lot of things coming out, for this event. A lot of stuff is coming out of Boston. There's been some dream matchups. Do you think Belfort versus Machida is a dream matchup?
No.
Any interest in that?
No.
I'll watch a fight.
Yeah, I'll watch that only because it's two no's. So if you put two no's together, you have a yes.
Sure. Okay.
That's the way I'm looking at
Well,
it.
just like they said, one's not getting a title shot here, one's not getting a title shot there.
Right.
Might as well just fight each other.
Absolutely.
Machida doesn't even want to fight Belfort at any
Machida
weight
doesn't want to fight
class.
anybody. Have you seen the fight?
He won the last two before Davis.
Allegedly.
I was there and I don't remember.
Either way, in his last three, he's 2-1. He doesn't want to fight Belfort at any weight class. Belfort doesn't want to fight anybody unless it's a championship for
And he's not
middleweight.
getting that.
And he's not getting that, so he'll fight anybody at any other weight class.
How about 2 pink slips then? See ya.
How about a 3-way and throw Chael in there?
Throw Chael.
But
Belfort would like that.
Yeah, well, Chael would like that as long as it's not in Brazil.
Well, I thought he specifically wanted Vegas,
Well, I think he wants it in states that will not allow
the TRT.
the TRT with somebody that's already flunked. Because that's the whole thing with Belfort. He's already tested, so supposedly Keith Geiser's like, no. So, whatever.
And speaking of TRT and Chael in this case, he's good to go. Don't know if we'll see him fight, but Massachusetts
He'll
says
see him fight.
I'll see a fight.
Can you FaceTime, please?
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm not allowed to do that. When you're sitting
You're
on
the only one broadcasting.
Yeah, when you're sitting on the media row, you're not allowed to shoot photos. You're not allowed to do any of that. But I'll tweet updates.
All right.
I'll let everybody know what's going on
At Knockout Radio on Twitter.
at Knockout Radio on Twitter.
There you go.
So,
Punch by punch.
well, maybe not because I get sidetracked.
Easily.
Hey, look, Diet
very,
Coke.
very easily.
I haven't had a Diet Coke in 7-8 days now.
You'll have one up there.
I won't.
In 6-7 hours.
I won't. I don't know. I don't
His
know.
trainer might be listening.
Oh my God, I hate that guy. I hate that guy with a passion.
Styles
I
White.
purposely didn't want to start the program with this because I saw some Twitters, about Bjorn pulled this off. He made some great big announcements that's overshadowing the UFC. And in no way do I think any of these announcements are overshadowing any UFC event. But my question for you, my question for anybody out there, tweet us, Facebook us, smokescreen us, what the hell? Pick up the phone and call us. It don't matter. Whatever's on your mind. Eddie Alvarez now will be the co-main event on the first Bellator pay-per-view against Chandler. Thoughts?
It's good because he gets his rematch. And it's obviously good for him because he's getting his first fight back. He has 8 total fights. His first one is a rematch.
Did they
for the
completely
belt.
throw the whole tournament thing out the window? I might have missed it. Is that gone now?
Apparently they did.
That business model that he was like, this is our business model, and this is what we're sticking to.
But that might have been part of
It's very Dana White of him. Hey, you took us to court. You want a title shot?
Well, and that might have been part of the leverage that Alvarez had. He said,
Well, I think it's the leverage that Bellator had.
Yeah, I didn't think Alvarez had anything in that.
You don't think
the
They
contract
had to
stated
match.
this,
Yeah, they had to match.
and that's why they did a pay-per-view.
Well, and we all thought that, and when they went to court and they said there'll be a pay-per-view, you knew he was going to be on it. Here's the sad thing. This has been going on so damn long.
You don't even care.
I don't care. Which is a shame because for a long time, and I'm not even going to say I disagree with the statement now, but I used to say for a long time, Eddie Alvarez is the best athlete not in the UFC. Then he lost to Chandler, and then we haven't seen him in God knows forever. And it's almost like I don't care. I'll care once it happens. I'll care once we get close to the event, once we start talking in mid-October. But right now it's just taken so long, which is a shame for Eddie Alvarez.
but that's what happened. Now you just got to deal with it and try to move on and try to make the best of the 8 fights he has now with Bellator.
8 fights. So in other words, you're not going anywhere.
No.
Now, we don't know the contract. He might be getting paid.
They do put on
Right.
quite a few shows, though.
Well, they do. He could get all 8 done in a year.
I don't know about that.
Oh, they put on enough. All right, without further ado, I have to admit, and I know, Wags, you and I will argue this. I wanted Derek here tonight because I wanted to get his opinion on this. For the first time in his 10 pro fights, I watched Nick Newell fight last Saturday night.
Thoughts?
I was impressed.
He's 10-0.
Well, you can be 10-0 and it doesn't matter. Granted, this is, he fought in smaller organizations. World Series of Fighting is still...
It's the biggest organization he's fought for.
It is the biggest.
The most exposure he's fought with.
And what was
pressure.
it? 2 minutes?
It was the second round, I thought.
No, it was the first.
It was the first round?
The first, yeah.
Then I dozed. But I was impressed. Tried to get a couple takedowns. Tried to do, I think it was a knee bar or something. And it was impressive. I still don't necessarily buy your theory that he has an advantage. Feel free to comment on.
Oh, absolutely. And over the weekend, I was having conversation with both Grossman and Eric in Denver, sticking by that as well. I still think it's an advantage.
What's your theory on the advantage? What is your school of thought?
And how do those two guys with credibility come in to help you?
No, they don't necessarily.
One said he was going to shoot him if he didn't say the right thing. He's learned from you.
No.
Violence is the only way.
Violence is the answer.
And Grossman, feel free to call in.
Tweet us.
Okay.
Tweet us. He doesn't like to call.
All right. Well, so if you're not driving.
Tweet while you drive. We don't care. We're not on the road.
My thought process,
Please.
if you will. When it comes down to it, if he doesn't have a hand, what does he have? He has his forearm, basically, right there, above the wrist, if you look at pictures. Actually, it's a little bit further up, not above the wrist. But when you punch somebody...
I hate when you make me look at you, though.
When you punch somebody...
Look at this body.
Shut the hell up. If you punch somebody with your knuckle and you give them a Charlie horse in their leg, that hurts, right? Yes. Looking for feedback.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So imagine...
Or it tickles.
Not if you have a Charlie horse. Anyway, imagine taking the end of your knuckle and expanding it to the width of somebody's forearm. And now get punched in the face full speed.
But does he have a knuckle?
No, it's better than a knuckle because
it's just bone.
What is the weakness of a knuckle?
Now,
the joints. He doesn't have a joint.
I will say this, and I'm not going to agree with you.
That's fine.
I'm going to stick with disagreeing with you just because it sounds ridiculous.
And it's fun.
No. I'm saying just the comment of it sounds ridiculous, even though it may be true. I did think this as I watched the fight. There is no glove on that.
No.
Right.
No, so I'm saying.
There's no padding.
I still don't think he has an advantage because he's handicapped.
He can't break his hand.
But if he breaks his right hand, now he has nothing. Where if you break your right hand and you have two, you still have one left.
That's a perfectly valid point.
I think that he may be able to choke somebody out with a broken hand and whatever.
He could use right on the throat, right? Because it's technically not like you can't use your fingers.
Well, and also you, as an opponent, you can grab somebody's hand. You can bend somebody's wrist. You can't do that with him. The more joints you have, the more weaknesses you have.
I would still
technically you can only get an arm bar from one side.
Okay.
Because it's not long enough to get on that side.
True.
I still would rather fight you with two hands than with one.
I would like to see him fight you with one hand and you fight him with two hands.
Oh, he'll catch me.
Yeah.
I'll run and he'll catch me. I'll run in circles.
Here I was giving you credit.
No, I ain't fighting him. I ain't fighting nobody. The only person I'm going to fight is that knucklehead Styles G. White.
I think he wins too.
The only people he fights are the call centers on the other end of the phone.
And Mickey Mouse in Canton.
Oh, boy.
No, you didn't fight him. You brought someone in to fight the battle for you.
I don't fight anybody.
You're a lover, not a fighter.
Exactly.
Hard to believe.
I certainly don't do any of that at all.
I was about to say confrontation. What?
Thoughts on World Series of Fighting last week? Did anybody watch it?
Caught a little bit of it.
Thoughts?
Nothing. It was fighting. It was entertaining.
Yeah, it was fights.
What night was it on? Friday? Friday or Saturday?
I'm almost going to agree with the invisible chair tonight.
Okay.
All right. I don't know if he's tuning in, and if I agree with him enough, maybe he will call in and pass out or something. But as much as I enjoy these fights, and as much as I think World Series of Fighting is on its way, they have some great competition. Berkman's there, and we've had him on the program. Obviously, Nick Newell's there now. As little as you guys have said about some of these fights that you want to see, now that there's a change to the next World Series of Fighting in New Jersey, Andrei Arlovsky versus Mike Kyle.
Okay.
Yes.
No, the answer is no.
No, I wouldn't. Thank God it's free.
I'm not even sure I'd watch it if it was. I'm not sure if I would watch it if that was in my backyard.
You don't think so?
Well, Kyle may bite him,
I was going to say that.
and then something. I just don't. I don't know. And I love watching any fights. It doesn't matter. And I'm the one that's argued about Vanderlei. I'm the one that's.
So you have to pick one now. You have to watch that fight, or you pay whatever the amount is. Say, $29.99 for the Rampage fight.
Oh well, if it's one of the two, then I'll watch the free one.
Really? You don't pay $20?
Are you kidding
for
me?
your boy?
Seriously?
Hey, but it's Tito though.
But it's money though.
He'd find a way to get it.
But
for free.
it's money though.
He'd find a way.
It's money though.
You didn't hear him talk about money? He would spend money for all those different channels that he wanted.
Yeah. If that channel was on, I would pay for it.
I find that a completely different situation.
Would you go to the press box or Hooters to watch it?
Yes.
You would spend more money there than you would buying it at your home.
Well, no, that's not true. Not that I enjoy you guys making me out to be frugal, but no, I would not spend
You're not
more.
cheap, you're smart.
I would not spend more at the Press Box Sports Emporium in Tampa or Hooters on 4th Street in St. Petersburg, since they're both sponsors of our day show.
Yes.
So no, I would go there. I would hang out. I would watch it, and I will watch it. We'll have to get with Hooters or the Press Box and see if they'll get that. And since I can't imagine Bellator doing many pay-per-views.
Like the WEC?
This could be a one and done.
Fulfill the obligation of Eddie Alvarez to have a pay-per-view, and then
they were going to do a pay-per-view.
He's going to get pay-per-view money. Rampage and Tito are going to get.
Oh, absolutely. That's not the point. The point is to make sure that the
contract is fulfilled.
The contract is fulfilled. That you fulfill what you needed to do, so that you can't be sued. I still don't know how they pulled it off, but they did. And it's now going to happen whatever date it is in November.
That would be the second.
So yeah, I'll watch it. I won't pay for the pay-per-view, but I'll watch it. Somebody in the Tampa Bay area will have it.
So somebody will be paying it, just not you.
Well, yeah.
And then you will be watching it there.
Yeah, as long as I don't have to pay for it, I'll watch it.
Told you. It's money.
He'd still spend money.
I would rather spend money. I would rather spend money at an establishment eating and watching the event than pay for it through these knuckleheads at Brighthouse who don't know anything about nothing. I'd rather give the money to the press box in Tampa or give the money to Hooters on 4th Street in St. Petersburg.
You got to watch your figure, though. You got to have your protein bars.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
The Trim Nutrition. By the way, I do want to thank XCOM Global. They're now on board with this. They provide me the internet access when I hit the roads. So now when all the other media have problems in the arena and they can't get online to tweet, to Facebook, to get all the updates, I will be able to do that because they have a mobile hotspot that I will be carrying along with me.
You know what would be really awesome? Just an idea. This is just me thinking out loud.
Oh, that's dangerous.
You could charge them. Have them. Whoa! Hey.
Hey.
Yeah.
Good idea. Maybe I'll have them pay for the hot dog and soda or something.
Bandwidth.
Yeah, you're right. Because 5 people can get on the bandwidth. You just need to know the passcode.
Really?
Boom.
Yeah. I wouldn't charge those guys. But there are certain media people, that I'm friends with or that we play.
You'd also do that.
Basketball with.
I'd give it to them.
See what I have? You don't? Good luck.
I would do that to a few other people.
I know you would.
Even though he's not around anymore, the original guy who gave me crap, like, who are you? I'm like, I've been here for 5 years. Who are you? Those guys that they walk in on their first one and try to they dress to impress.
Well, they dress like Ariel.
Well, nobody dresses like Ariel.
What, with the jeans and the
shoes,
and the tennis shoes?
Yeah. And now I got to stop wearing all those shoes I've been buying because people think I'm now copying Ariel.
Yeah.
So I got to cut it back, and I can't wear those.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, because I'm not.
You can wear them to the basketball game.
Yeah, there you go.
The basketball game's okay.
Yeah, the high top ones.
Yeah.
Looking flash.
Any thoughts? And I did save this one for Derek, and I hate to wait another week, but did you see Zuffa has released their first woman fighter?
Yes.
They did. Finally. So now they're at 12, I think, instead of 13.
They released a fighter and Bellator shut down the whole operation.
Well, which is good for Invicta.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
there's 2 fighters.
They're going to be signing every.
No, they'll
everybody.
sign.
Bellator had 2 fighters in 2 different weight classes on their roster. What took so long?
That's a fair point. It's not like you're going to be doing it.
What kind of fight do we have for you? Nobody in your weight class.
Nada.
Give us a month, we'll find someone else.
Nothing
But
wrong.
yeah, Invicta picked up the drop fighter pretty quickly, I believe.
From Bellator.
Yes.
I thought it was from
Well, no, they picked up the Bellator. I don't know if they picked up was it
Sheila Gaff.
Sheila?
Yeah.
I guess that means I got to take her off the top 10. I mean, when there's only 11 fighters, but she went 0-2. You know, good move, bad move, or a move you don't really care about when there's only 12 fighters. I guess good for her because now she can go somewhere else and get some fights in.
Well, I mean, when it comes to for her, the pay between 2 different places, I have to assume that UFC is going to be paying more no matter what, even if it's not that much. So I
Low tier,
think it matters really.
low tier UFC, high tier somewhere else.
Well,
Low
you have
tier
to you have to
UFC.
assume that she's going to be high tier somewhere else.
And that's what I'm saying. So do you really believe low tier Zuffa, which, and we've seen some of the low tiers, 4,000, maybe 6,000, high tier at Invicta or someplace else? You don't think she'll get more than $4,000?
Well, you also have to think. Well,
Is that what she made?
I have no idea.
Yeah, this is all
Yeah,
what if hypothetical.
This is just a 2-hour conversation.
Okay, continue.
We don't know what she was making, but
I'd have to think it would be probably either on par or a little bit more.
yeah,
That's what I think if she stayed at UFC.
and I tend, shockingly enough, for the second time tonight, I tend to kind of agree with you.
It is 6:28 on the 14th of August in the year 2013.
So 1.5 times in the first 28 minutes.
Wow. Holy crap.
Trying to find if her payout.
Good luck.
All right, we're trying to hunt down Dave Huckaba, who I think was kind of put in a weird situation, don't you?
Yes.
He gets signed by World Series of Fighting to fight the
boss.
president. Now, I like everything that Ray did, everything that Ray said. He was a professional about it, congratulated him, the whole 9 yards. But we were going to get Dave on to kind of talk about it. Isn't that the ultimate dream? Isn't that what Tito wanted to do with Dana?
He did?
Isn't that what everybody wants to do? Isn't that something that's crossed both your minds?
Yes. It's also taken more
Plead the
than
fifth?
6 weeks or whatever, whatever he had signed
So
to build up that dislike.
well, that's true. I mean, there probably wasn't a dislike there. But isn't that the ultimate dream?
Yes.
To get into a cage, to get into a wrestling match.
Just
to
an
get-
altercation.
Just an
Period.
altercation. When we used to train, I know how much you loved when you put me in that bullshit move of yours.
Yes. All right.
What did you
Sheila
develop
Gaff
something?
was paid $6,000
Okay.
for her first fight in the UFC.
Well, I would imagine the second
a
fight
second
would have
time.
been
too.
There's nothing that I see, so I can't go off that one.
right. So
6 and 6.
I don't know about a very small organization, but the next tier or the 2 tiers down, an Invicta, the XFC, somebody like that, might pay somewhere similar to that. Now, I know what you're thinking about sponsorship. I'm not sure that somebody that's the first fight of the night, the second fight of the night is getting much
in the way
dollars anyway.
Yeah.
Because I've helped some fighters and, typically the sponsor wants to know, where on the TV are you? Are you on the main card? And again, if you're that low on the totem pole, you're not on pay-per-view, you're not on FX, you may be on Facebook, so you're not going to get a whole lot of money there anyway. So now if you move up and you are higher up at one of the other organizations, you probably have a much better chance of making that money back. Yeah, you would still rather be in the UFC, let's be honest, but financially, there's a big difference between financially and emotionally and all that kind of stuff. But financially, you may not be hurt as bad as you would think.
Depending if you're seeing obviously the same types, but if you're seeing the same companies who have money to spend and they want to use it on somebody in a different, smaller organization at all. If they can afford to be sponsoring all these people in UFC, then they might go that way and avoid another organization altogether.
Well, and the flip side is she may keep a good percentage of her sponsors that she's had now. They may renegotiate, they may drop a few dollars off or whatever, but she could pick up, keep that and maybe pick up a few new. So who knows?
The only thing I found Invicta-wise is the bonuses they give out of the nights. Your fight of the night is $1,500 to each fighter, while submission and knockout is $1,000 each.
Significantly different.
You think?
But on the flip side,
80?
What's the chance that she gets any one of those three in the UFC?
There's always there's a puncher's chance.
And let's don't just hold it on her. Just anybody that's lower tier that gets released. We're not necessarily saying just her.
Well, we're just using her as an example,
and that's why I'm just saying it's this kind of goes for anybody, not just her. The kind of difference. Yeah, you take a hit. There's no doubt. But I'm just saying on the regular, your pay, your sponsorship, whatever, it'll drop. But I think if you're that far down, like I've already said, I think you might not be in as bad a problem. All right, so when and if Saturday goes off, all right, Saturday will go off, but when and if you see it on TV, not only is the situation with Fox Sports 1, but what about the whole situation in Boston, the whole situation in Massachusetts? And I know it kind of hurt Dana in the press conference when he said, I don't think we'll be back anytime soon.
Business decision.
It is what it is. You got to go with what's with the reality that it's hard for them to deal with everything when it has gone to Boston, and they're just not going to put up with it.
You just got too much other things to do.
Yeah.
To have to fight through and worry about all this kind of stuff. All right, I know that we mentioned it at the beginning of the program, and we have on the line with us right now the victorious Dave Huckaba. Dave, how are you?
Oh, the notorious. Oh, man, one good fight. Now I'm notorious. All right, I like it. I'm doing good, man. How you guys doing?
That's how you want to start off, right? Everything's good.
Yeah, everything's good. Life is good, man.
Talk to us a little bit about that fight. There was a lot of talk. You're fighting the president of the organization. Not a really good welcoming card, huh?
Oh, man. Actually, I think that was really good, man, to be honest. I finally got to get home and watch the fight, man, and from what I understand, man, I guess people loved it. You know what I mean? The people loved the fight. Win or lose, we went out there and put on a good show, and we gave the fans what they wanted. You know what I mean?
No, and definitely true, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I sat in the Lazy Boy and loved every minute of it. And what we were kind of talking about leading up to having you on, that's everybody's dream, to get in a cage, to get in an octagon, to get in on the wrestling mat with your boss. But you really didn't get that opportunity, to get any dislike into the guy because you just recently signed with him.
You know what? Now that I fought Ray, we talked for a good hour after the fight, man. That dude is very humble. He's very respected. I'm not saying it just because he's my boss, but I actually got a chance to be behind the scenes with him and meet him. Really, the fight, coming up to the fight, I really didn't look at him as my boss. You know what I mean? Because, I didn't have any previous fights with him. It's not like, you know what I mean? It's not like we had that employee-boss relationship. Now we're good. I understand. I work for him. We're all the way good. There's no problems, and he said he's going to keep me busy, and man, I'm looking forward to it.
And I have to agree with you. We've had Ray on the program numerous times. He's a super guy, a legend in the sport. And, everything that you've ever heard and everything you've just said about Ray Sefo is 1,000% true. But go back to when you get the phone call. When you get the call that said, hey, we're interested to bring you in, and this is who we want you to fight, what went through your mind?
Man, I really didn't even hesitate with yes. How could I not? How could I? Man, the styles, man. Realistically, guys, I really had nothing to lose in this fight. You know what I mean?
Sure.
The Gracie fight, that would have been more of a grappling match. Me trying to keep him off the ground, trying to stay up and basically put hands on him without going to the ground. With Ray, I knew that there wasn't going to be any grappling. I knew that I was going to get tested, and in my head, here's how it breaks down, I guess. In my head, man, I feel that I'm really gifted with anybody standing up. I got a really good chin. I could take a good punch, and I got really heavy hands. I feel that in the top 10 heavyweights in the world, I could trade punch for punch with any one of them. I'm not scared to. We all bleed. You know what I mean? So when I got a chance to stand up with Ray, and I knew that me and him were basically going to hook it up, I said to myself, you know what? Either I'm going to prove to myself and all the people that I do have legitimate stand-up, or I'm going to get knocked out trying. So,
Right.
you know what I mean? I just went out there with really nothing to lose.
And early in the fight, it looked like, Ray was getting some decent leg kicks in. He threw a couple punches. Were you ever hurt at all?
You know what? During the fight, no. I mean, really no. For me, the fighting is a lot different than a lot of people, man. I say this, I don't mean to be disrespectful or say it rude. I do have a construction job. I work. I'm a union iron worker by trade. But the fight money that I make is my family's fun money. I'm looking to try to be financially stable, man. I'm tired of living check to check, Last night or Saturday night, I made $12,000. To me, that's huge money for me and my family. Now we can plan a Disneyland trip, or we can plan a Santa Cruz trip. I couldn't lose, man. I couldn't. In my mind, I didn't want to lose. My wife and kids are in the front row, or I don't know, man. I put things different like that, man. When it's for my kids and it's for my wife, I feel like I can't lose, man.
Now, with Ray saying that he's going to keep you busy, is it too early to start looking at your next fight and where it might be and who it might be against?
You know what? I don't really care who they put me against. My confidence right now is just out of control. I would love to get another stand-up banging match, because like I said, I'm working 8 hours a day right now, so I'm not getting a good chance to get my jiu-jitsu in right now. I mean, I got nothing to hide, guys. I'm a sprawl and brawl type fighter, man. I mean, I'm not a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I'm nowhere near that level, but I'm really strong, and I in 25 or 26 professional fights, I've been submitted one time. I do roll with high-level people. I'm a stand-up banger guy. I don't want to do the jiu-jitsu thing. You know what I mean? I am a mixed martial artist, but I'm hoping to get a stand-up match. I'm hoping to go in October is what I'm hoping for.
And let's be honest, Dave, I mean, that's what most fans want to see. I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. I've done a little jiu-jitsu training, not much, but fans want to see guys stand up and bang, and that appears to be, your MO.
Well, let's hope that the fans, hope that I keep everybody excited and the demand for me gets big, man. I mean, I'm 39 years old. I started fighting when I was 31. In my heart, I feel like I'm a young fighter. I learn something new every fight. I'm an open book. I want to learn. My trainers tell me that, each fight, Dave, you get better and better and better. So, man, I just want to get basically financially stable, man. I signed a 5-fight deal with the World Series. Who's to say that I might not fight this 5 times for these guys and stack up my bank account so I'm good, and then I could just maybe do interviews or something. Kick back.
We'll save a chair here in the studio for you. What's it like to have the family and to have your children at a fight watching you?
Man, as much as it puts pressure on me, it's a blessing for me. And, if you looked at my career and you looked at my sheer dog and you followed me, I've lost to 3 different guys. I've avenged 3 out of my 5 losses. But if you look at my losses, I've lost to LeVar Johnson, which, man, that's not a bad loss. You know what I mean? LeVar's awesome. I've lost to Damian Grabowski by a decision, which I didn't pull the trigger in that fight. That was my fault. And I'm going to get to this point with my kids in a minute. And I've lost to John Murphy. Those fights that I lost to, I was unable to take my family to. I didn't, the promotion wouldn't pay for it. And like I said, man, my money, man, I'm your average everyday guy. I go to construction, I work. I couldn't afford to fly my wife and kids to Mississippi. I couldn't afford to take my kids and my wife to Canada when I fought Damien. So what I'm saying is, man, with my kids with me and my family with me ringside, I haven't lost a fight. I haven't lost an MMA fight. I mean, I know that sounds funny, and it's like that favorite pair of underwear you wear or the favorite pair of socks you have. I got too much to. I'm a hero to them. I'm Superman. I'm unbeatable when my family's around, and that's what my motto. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. And any parent understands exactly what you're saying. It just brings something else out of you because you know that they're there, or for that matter, even if they're just watching on TV, but knowing that they're right there and you may get a glimpse or whatever while you're in the middle of something, I'm sure it can definitely affect you.
Man, the walkout, looking at them in the walkout. The TV thing's not a big deal. You don't even visualize them watching at home on the TV, You think about them, but it's not the same. The very first people I made eye contact with when I walked out of a hallway at Saturday night was my son, my wife, and my daughter. That right there, guys, I'm telling you right now, it puts nitrous oxide through your blood. It's not. I cannot lose in front of them. You know what I mean? It's too much. I don't want to let them down. I don't want to let the fans down. But number one, I don't want to let my home base down. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Now, when you went back to work, did they let you come in like 30 minutes late?
You know what? I didn't. I went back to work Monday. I showed them my leg, and they sent me home. They were like, Dave, take a few days off, man. We didn't expect you back. You know what I mean? So Ray banged up my leg pretty good. I got a good purple bruise on my thigh. But, you know, the leg kicks, like I said, man, I really didn't think Ray was going to kick me like that because I thought he was nervous about being on the ground. You know, and I thought he would be nervous about me catching a leg kick. But he's so fast. His kicks were so crisp and fast. But it's all good, man. Everything was good. Everything's good besides my leg, little bruise.
Well, I guess the important question is, and I hate talking finances, you know, it's nobody's business, so I never talk about it. But with them sending you home, did they at least send you home with pay?
What's that, today? My job?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I couldn't get that lucky. I couldn't win both ways. You know, here's the funny thing, too, man, since you say that. You get a fight on TV, you win a big fight like I did on Saturday on TV, and, you know, people come out of the woodworks, you know what I mean? And everybody thinks, oh, you won, 100 G's, or you won this, you know what? I won 12 grand. 12 grand's a lot of money. I mean, for some people, it's life-changing money, you know what I mean? But everybody around town right here thinks like I'm a millionaire overnight, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. More than the money, and I know this sounds funny, more than the money, it's like I had a moment the other day. I'm riding my Harley. I'm at a stoplight. And some guy pulls up next to me, and he's like, he hits his wife, and he rolls his window down. He's like, oh, my God, that's Dave Huckaba. Are you Dave Huckaba? I said, yeah, that's me. Man, you're badass. You know, that was an awesome fight. That right there, man, I'm at the stoplight. I get all goosebumps and stuff, and I'm like, hey, bud, thanks. It was nice seeing you, but your light's green. He was backing up traffic. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, man. The money's absolutely great, but those moments that you get right there in the spotlight of man, that stuff's priceless, man. You know, it's priceless.
No, 100%. Well, we definitely appreciate your time. I certainly enjoyed the fight watching it, and let's do this again as we get ready, or you get ready for your next fight.
Man, thank you guys very much for the exposure, man. I'm glad I'm finally getting my name out, and people are recognizing me. And man, just you guys got a number. You got to contact me. I'd love to get some time with you guys anytime I can.
Absolutely. We will definitely get you back on. Dave Huckaba, everybody. And if you can tweet that out, Alex, and let's get him some more followers, and we'll take care of that when we come back.
Thank you guys very much, man.
Is your significant other nagging you about cleaning out the garage? Or spending too much on a storage unit? Needing to sell or purchase new or used equipment for your business? PostShareSell.com is your solution. A cool and innovative way to buy, sell, or trade online. With an easy-to-use mobile phone app and built-in sharing capabilities, post a free ad in less than 60 seconds. PostShareSell.com. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Post it, share it, sell it.
What a good dude.
Great guy.
That was a lot of fun. And I can imagine that because you saw what he looks like. I mean, he looks like a guy that would be riding a bike. And can you imagine being in a light or something? And matter of fact, our former buddy, what was his name? JoJo, Knockout JoJo.
Former buddy?
Former show. Former co-host. What did Joe go by?
Knockout JoJo?
Knockout JoJo. We did that, or he did that in Philadelphia. We just left watching the UFC with Shane Victorino. And he's yelling at him at a red light like, holy crap, it's Shane Victorino.
He's not the same guy who broke a Disneyland ride.
Well, that's true.
Whoa, I didn't hear about this one.
There's no need to hear about it.
All right.
He punched a wall.
What?
He punched a wall. We were riding some minor league, little league, Disney league.
We're waiting. We got one of those fast pass things.
Sure.
So we went to this little kids ride. Hey,
trying to kill a little time.
Monsters Inc. Whatever. So we're riding it, and the car goes through, and the doors open.
All right.
Well, he grabs the door and closes it.
Dumb.
So the alarms go off. The ride shuts down. They have to get everybody and escort him out. Broke the ride for the rest of the day.
Yeah, how about that? And it was such a cute little ride.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah, no, it really wasn't. But
I think he was trying to put a conflict sticker on the door.
Yeah, I think he was. This is the guy, and again, good friend. We still hang out on a regular basis, but he got out when we were in L.A. Conflict used to be a clothing line and a MMA geared store run by a couple local police officers here in the Tampa Bay area. And when we went to L.A., he would take these stickers and he put one on a city bus.
Yes.
He got out at a gas station and ran to a pickup truck and stuck a sticker on the back of the pickup truck as it pulled out of the gas station.
And he didn't get run over?
Have you ever met Joe? This is
yeah, I know.
And I still argue with him because he still says that he says his life goal is to have a pro fight.
Okay.
He's up training. He's training with like Gator MMA, I think, up in Newport Richie. We had Blevins on not too long ago to talk about his son. And Joe's up there training, and that's, his dream is to get a fight in. And he still says if he has heat, if he hates the guy, if whatever, and this is where I love Joe to death, but he says that he will hold on to a choke longer than the fight.
Yeah, right.
And
I remember him saying that.
I'm 10,000 degrees against that. As much as you dislike somebody, there's a couple of people that I dislike. One happens to run a mixed martial arts organization. And if I ever fought him, and I never would because I'm not a fighter, I'm a lover.
He just gets into verbal
I just get into verbal altercations on the phone and in people's yards in Canton, Ohio. It's different. That's the whole thing about this sport. It's different. And if I was to lock the choke in or whatever, the ref comes over, it's over. Now, you can go back to hating them. You can go back to do whatever you want. But that's the one thing that I will always disagree with Joe Marquis forever and ever.
Fair point. All right. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Well, good. Glad to hear that.
Smell what the rock is cooking. Taste what the stone is making. Whatever.
Chael's a slight underdog, slight favorite.
I was going to say underdog.
No, he's a slight favorite.
When did that change?
No, I'm sorry. I'm still getting that minus and plus thing, kind of down. Thoughts, expectations, if you're able to watch it?
What?
I'm disappointed. I got to be honest with you. I'm disappointed in the fact that there is nothing on Twitter. The thing that we love about Chael
is his ability to sell a fight.
Exactly. Now, you don't necessarily have to sell a fight that's on free TV, but then again, we don't know if it's on free TV.
We don't know if it's on TV, let alone free TV.
Yeah.
How slight of a favorite is he?
Was it 120 or 140?
I thought it was
pretty
200.
Slight.
Oh, last I saw it was, I thought it was 140. But.
So it is barely. Okay. I see this as a very, very even fight anyway. So I would not be surprised if he was a slight favorite. I wouldn't be surprised if Shogun was a slight favorite when it comes down to it. I
still, and you guys are on me all the time that I go by names and I go by, yesterday and I go by history and look at Chael's record. Look at who Chael has lost to. And I still think Chael is one of the best fighters in his weight class.
Which weight class is that? Are you saying middleweight?
Yeah, I would say middleweight. Okay. I still have Chael ranked either 2 or 3, and I will continue to do that. That's my opinion. That's my belief that he is the number wherever I have him. 2, ranked middleweight until he loses.
Okay.
He's lost to the number 1 guy at the time.
Yes.
And he's lost to the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
There's a lot of people that argue he shouldn't have had those fights in the first place.
But that's beside the point.
That he didn't deserve them.
And then if he didn't fight John Jones and he didn't fight Anderson Silva, he would be ranked number 1 contender in middleweight until he does fight him. Yes? No?
At middleweight? Yeah. Yeah, because he's clean, because Silva has cleaned out the division, except for his.
Well, I'm saying, if he wouldn't have fought him, you said that he didn't deserve the fight, and again, you can't necessarily go by what ifs.
I was more talking about the Jones fight than the Silva fight, just because he went straight from one to the next, didn't have any fights at light heavy.
Are you on Twitter, by the way?
No.
While we're talking, I'm not capable of doing 6 things at one time. I know that Grossman is sending some tweets out, so.
Well, Grossman had said that he is home and he's going to listen tomorrow. That's the last thing I saw.
He said something about Newell and.
Okay.
So now do we say welcome to Thursday?
Well,
Grossman?
Sure.
Well,
So now when he listens, it's perfect.
well, but in the next couple of weeks, he'll be listening on Friday.
Yes.
Once we get the moveroo, to Thursday. And if UFC stuff is going to be on Fox Sports 1 and it's on a channel that I'll get at Brighthouse Networks here in Pinellas County, then it'll work out well. What night did they just move Fight Masters to?
Thursday at 11. Supposedly prime time. That is right after, what is that on Tuesday? TNA Impact? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's on Thursday nights, right?
Yeah, that's, I think, 9 to 11. And then I think the idea is to get more of the crossover traffic from TNA to stay on and watch Fightmaster after. I think that's their thought process, moving it from Wednesday to Thursday at 11. So, I maybe it sort of makes sense considering they're owned by the same organization and the right people are watching it. But I don't know. I mean, it was hard enough for me to be able to watch it on Wednesday as an MMA fan. So I don't think many MMA fans are going to be following it to Thursday at 11, an hour later. I don't really see this making a gigantic difference. Yeah?
Wednesday,
Yes,
Thursday?
no?
Well,
I'll DVR it Wednesday or Thursday. So
yeah, it doesn't
matter.
really matter. To me, I guess the people that know the numbers and know all that, maybe Thursday's a worse night or a better. Why do they move shows? Shows that are struggling, they move to better nights. Shows that, have a great following, they move maybe to bad nights because people are going to tune in anyway. I don't know how any of that stuff works, but, if you're going to watch it, you're going to watch it. If you're going to DVR it, you're going to DVR it. So it really doesn't matter, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Tuesday, or whatever day is between Sunday and Monday.
Between Sunday and Monday.
Yeah, I'm just saying it doesn't matter what the day is.
But correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't know if you know this in the first place, but as the series had been going on, they had been getting increasing ratings the entire time, and it wasn't until this last episode where they had a drop, and it was the worst ratings they had of this season altogether. That's the way I understood it. So I'm not sure if I would necessarily say it needed to move right away. The first night they have a drop in ratings and boom, they say, oh, we need to move it because we need more viewers from TNA the 2 hours before, however long it's on. Or they could have just viewed it as not only was it a drop in ratings, but it was the worst ratings we've had so far. I don't know. Those are my thoughts.
They know what they're doing a whole lot better than we know what we're doing.
Fair point. I'll agree with that. Speaking of TV and MMA, and I don't know if you'd heard about this because you don't have DirecTV.
I do not.
But DirecTV is apparently coming up with their own original series based on MMA. Based on an MMA gym in Venice, California.
Don't know anything about it. Okay. Do you see there's a new fight, there's a new team thing being put together as well?
Team?
Yeah, kind of like what the IFL was.
No.
I saw Tony Frickland's posts on Facebook, and I guess he has a team. There's a team in Chicago, I believe. I don't know if it's 4 or 6, but yeah, I kind of saw it, kind of responded to it. Hopefully we will get him on shortly to talk a little bit about it.
So for those who are not familiar with the quote-unquote team thing, like the IFL you're referring to, could you explain that a little bit?
Well, it's
because I have no earthly clue what you're talking about.
It was a team concept. So if there's 5 on a team, you had to win 3 fights for you to.
And it was out of the same gym. Everybody was out of the same gym.
So you're fighting your way out of your own gym.
No. You have a team. Your gym has 5 guys, and you go to a place and you fight another team. They have a heavyweight, they have a middleweight, they have a lightweight, you fight.
Okay.
And then the coaches were big name coaches and or previous fighters.
Okay. All right, I think I understand that. So what's the at the end, once everything's said and done, you win 3 out of 5.
Just I think it was tournament style,
Yeah.
wasn't it? They had a big tournament, and the team
Okay.
who won at the end was the winner.
Yeah, that was back when Pat Miletich had the team.
Henzo Gracie had a team.
Yeah, I think he had a team. One was the Pit Bulls. I don't remember which one that was. One was red, one was yellow. I remember very little of it. Like I said, I barely remember.
The Silverbacks.
Well, I think that was Pat.
Yeah.
And then the Pit Bulls must have been the red jersey, which we used to have over in the old studio, as we had that displayed. So we are trying to reconnect with Travis Browne up there in Boston. Big fight for him. Big fight to watch. Are you excited about that fight?
Yes.
These are two guys that are going to come and bang, kind of like Dave Huckaba that we just had on the program.
If I can watch it.
Well, if not, you'll get the updates from me.
Awesome.
I'll do the best I can. I'm not
Well,
like Diz at whatever it is, MMA or Talk MMA or whatever his handle is. I can't text that fast. I can't type that fast.
Learn. Is there an Apple class for that?
There probably is.
You have everything else.
If you turn it to the side, you have more room to work.
I've got a big-ass computer and I got a big-ass iPad. I'm not using the iPhone.
To text?
Yeah. I can text on both of these.
Gotcha.
Well, again, I'm not texting. I'm tweeting.
Same difference.
Well, no, what I'm saying,
You're putting fingers to screen and
Right.
hitting send.
Well, I would much rather use the big computer or the iPad than use the iPhone, and I can text on the iPad as well. So I don't use one finger, I use 4.
Okay.
Both of you guys can go directly to.
Was that this?
I will keep a seat warm for you.
Is that this?
Hunt and peck. The 2-fingered hunt and peck.
Now, we were talking odds with Chael. Did you catch the odds of the Travis Browne Overeem fight?
I did not.
I think it's pretty sizable.
In Reem's favor?
You would think, yeah.
Just like the nevermind. Say the roids too, but that's can't say that allegedly.
It's all alleged.
Alleged.
And he will be tested.
Multiple times.
You would think.
Thoroughly.
You would think. But I
Can
am
you get the horse for that too?
I am looking forward to that fight.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to the most
Of all the fights, or
of that fight?
I just think that they're going to get at it. I don't think they're not going to spend much time on the ground, if any. And that's what that's what a lot of fans want to see.
Stand and bang.
They want to see standing
Throw.
bangers. And if you look at it, and I'm looking at Travis Browne, and I just got the update. We will have him on at 5 minutes past the hour. If you look at it, he's won knockouts of the night. He's won a submission of the night. 2 knockouts and 1 submission. But he is a knockout guy. We remember the Gonzaga fight. What was it? Just over a minute in the round 1?
Minute 11.
And
Yep.
he was on a roll. And I'm not saying that he's not on a roll, but he's only suffered that 1 defeat, to Bigfoot. Other than that, didn't everybody have Travis Browne on the fast track?
Well, and I think that's where I differ from other people. Apparently, if Reem indeed is the favorite, I would almost say that Travis Browne could be the favorite because of his past. Yeah, he did. They do have a common defeat in Antonio Silva, but I was surprised Overeem lost to Silva in the first place. But then the testing afterwards not only found that he had low testosterone levels, but they were actually dangerously low. And I don't know if he could genuinely perform at the rate he needs to without properly administered TRT to keep his levels up. And if that's the case, then I see him doing a whole lot of the same with not being able to have as much strength. He gasses out earlier, and he might be put to sleep by Browne. It might be another knockout of the night for him.
And we will talk to Travis Browne when we return. Travis Browne at 7:05 Eastern Standard. At 7:30 or so, we're going to have Mike Browne, so it'll be the Browne Hour when we return. All right, we are back. Second hour. It's the Browne Hour, brought to you by PostShareCell.com. Also, our good friends at XCOM Global. You can do anything you want, like from a beach, using these hotspots. They're just cool. I want to throw them as much love as I can. I wished I would have had it when I went down for the UFC in Rio. I could have sat on Baja Beach.
Isn't it Copacabana?
Well, that was the other beach. That's where they had the press conference. But then Baja Beach, which is over by Gracie.
You could have done it from the top of that mountain.
I could have. And maybe next time, if the police will stay away from us.
Oh, no, you could have done it. They could have been your co-host.
Well, they were.
You could have done it in the car, in the back of the cruiser, with them.
I really.
Translator needed.
Well, we had the translator there.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
He would have been in cuffs too.
Yeah.
But that is okay. So the second hour will be the Browne hour. Travis Browne coming on momentarily. Mike Browne at the bottom of the hour. And as we look at the entire card for this weekend, and like I said, I know that there's not been a whole lot, I think, on internet sites, a whole lot of, excitement about it. I am extremely excited about the Travis Browne Overeem fight. Just waiting for you guys to jump in to see if you had a thought or yes, no, maybe thoughts.
Yeah, we already said we're excited for it.
Well, it's the second hour. New listeners.
Gotcha.
Welcome to Thursday.
Welcome to Thursday, everybody.
I'm totally excited for it, Randy. I'm stoked.
Well, thank you.
We can hear it in your voice, Frank.
I can't wait.
Well, and hopefully you'll have it on Fox Sports 1 wherever you live. And hopefully a lot of people will have it. We are 3 days and X amount of hours out.
I might just go to the press box to watch it.
Well, hopefully they'll have it. Right now, nobody knows where it's even going to be. That's the big problem about what's going on. Nothing has been signed yet, so we really don't know anything yet.
Interesting.
Other than you guys will have to just follow my tweets as I give you the updates.
At knockoutradio.com.
I expect this to be a, what did they say in WWE, a slobber knocker?
Yes.
A barn burner.
And I don't expect this to go the distance.
No, somebody will go to sleep. Somebody's fist will find that button that Joe Rogan always refers to.
Which is anywhere in this region, and I'm pointing to the face.
But it's going to be an exciting fight. And like I said, Travis was on the fast track, stumbled. And I like to always talk about this, whether it's MMA, whether it's football, whether it's softball, baseball, whatever. Sometimes the best thing that can ever happen to you is a loss.
It sort of resets things.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's, I'm not saying this about Travis. I'm not saying about this anybody, in general. But sometimes, when everything just seems to be coming perfectly every single time, then you may not go through and cross the T's and dot the I's. And yeah, it kind of resets everything. And because of what happened, with Bigfoot in Minnesota, and then you saw what Travis did to Gonzaga.
That was mean.
That was really only a few months ago, to be honest.
What was that?
April
13th.
Yep.
So 3 months?
May,
4 months?
Yeah, about 4 months. So when that happens, I think you tend to see a different guy, a hungrier guy. And for a guy that, like I said, kind of was on the fast track. A lot of people were saying Struve was the next thing. And Travis Browne kind of took care of that pretty quickly, just over 4 minutes in the first round. So
that was Struve's first loss.
I think this is a huge fight. I think it's a huge fight for both guys. Both guys obviously in the the fictitious top 10.
Well,
there's no fictitious.
Not pound for pound, just the
I was
top 10.
Say.
No, not pound for pound. I'm saying in the top 10 heavyweights. Both of the guys fall into that category. So, it's definitely going to be an exciting fight. And I know he has a lot on his mind and a lot on his plate. So without further ado, let's welcome to the program and the second hour of the Browne Hour as Mike Browne's coming up. Travis Browne, how are you?
Good. How you guys doing?
Appreciate your time. Sorry about our delay a couple minutes ago. Talk to us a little bit about this fight and how big it is.
Yeah, I mean, every fight that we have is as big as the next, but this one is the opening of Fox Sports 1, the new Fox sports station. The UFC is on a huge card, and it's for free on cable, and it's an honor to be fighting for the UFC, and then putting the balance. Not necessarily that they're going to go under if we don't put a good show, but this is a big deal, and to be a part of the show is a great honor.
It's definitely going to be a big deal, and like Dana, I'm sure it'll all get worked out. I called Brighthouse Networks before the program started. They still don't even know what's going on. So hopefully everything does get taken care of in the next 3 days. I know that I was listening to the press conference the other day that you were on, and everybody's saying this is the biggest fight of your career. And I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. I think your last fight was the biggest fight. To come back after the loss, the way you took care of Gonzaga, I think to me that was a bigger fight than what you have coming up on Saturday.
Yeah, I think it's just a different situation altogether. Coming off a loss, it definitely puts your back against the wall. Especially when you're in my shoes. I am a top 10 heavyweight, but how many other guys are there looking to break into the top 10 that could easily take my spot? And so a guy that's maybe ranked number 2, if he suffers 2 losses in a row, he may drop down to number 4 or number 5, But a guy in my position, coming off of a loss to Bigfoot, and if I would have lost to Gabriel, it would have been really bad news for me.
How do you foresee, everybody's talking about a stand-up. This is going to be a stand-up war. I know that you have a submission of the night, in your past. Do you expect it to be just a stand-up, rock'em sock'em event?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope he doesn't plan on trying to grind one out for 3 rounds and just lay on top of somebody and to do stuff. But it's also my job to not let it go there. People want to complain about wrestlers coming in and just having like boring fights and holding people down and just trying to lay there for 3 rounds. But it's also the guy's job on the bottom not to get to that position in the first place. So. If he decides to try to take me down, good luck, and we'll see what's in store for him at that point.
We've seen the fights from Overeem in the past, and then we saw a what I would call a very different Overeem in the last fight. How many times have you watched that video, and what do you feel you've been able to take from that fight to utilize in your preparation?
I don't think his last fight was that much different of his past MMA fights. He did have his hands down a little bit more, but at the end of the day, I think that's almost like his style, his MMA style, to get him to crouch down and get ready for the wrestling. I think he's so confident in his stand-up, and he should be confident in stand-up because he's won K1 fights or championships and stuff like that. But he has so much confidence in his stand-up that he's able to do that and get away with it. If you look at his last fight against Silva, he did not get hit until the 3rd round. That means that 10 minutes of that fight, Silva was swinging at the air. You know what I mean? So he's doing a pretty good job of avoiding his strikes, and he just got caught, and that was the end of the story. But I don't think that's going to be that much different fighting over him this time.
Travis, and on the phone with us right now, Travis Browne up in Boston. I'll be boarding a plane in a couple days. I will be there in time for the fight. Does training, and how much did training change for Overeem than in, say for Gonzaga or Silva before that?
It honestly didn't really change that much. Just because he has a bigger name, it doesn't mean I train any harder or any less. That would be very kind of disrespectful to the sport and to my past opponents in general. He's another guy. He has a certain set of skills that we game plan for. Nothing changed. I worked, the thing about my style is that it's not necessarily, like, there's certain parts of my game plan to fight different kind of fighters, a striker, a wrestler, a grappler, that, I'm going to want to change a little bit here and there. But for the most part, my game plan is going to stay the same throughout my entire career. And that's to hit somebody and not get hit. And to try to finish fights. So, and my length and my size really lets me get away. It helps me get away with that. So, my game plan didn't change for Overeem at all. It's not like I'm going to sit there and just try to shoot in for takedown after takedown after takedown. I'm going to be standing right there in front of him, and we're going to be trading leather.
Travis, let me ask you this, and I talked about it earlier, and nobody ever wants to lose, but I've always talked about a loss sometimes is really good. It kind of redoes whatever. Can you tell us what that loss did for you and your training and mentally and physically and the whole kit and caboodle?
Sure. initially, I think every fighter has to kind of go through what I like to almost call like the grieving process, where you come off your loss and you're trying to make every reason or excuse possible of why you lost that fight instead of just accepting responsibility for it and moving on with your life and kind of like forgiving it but not forgetting it, like where you've moved on, you've accepted what happened, but you're going to use that experience to help fuel your future endeavors. And that's what I've done with my fights. And that's what I've done with that loss. Is I had about a month there where I was like, oh, you feel so sorry for yourself, Trav, and all that kind of crap. But then you just learn that I can't make excuses, and you got to move on with that fight. He beat you fair and square, and that's what happened.
When you're feeling like that, how does Greg Jackson, come in and help you and kind of get you out of that mood?
I think Greg actually did a good job, and he does a good job of giving his fighters space. And, after that fight, it was more, Trav, just, get healed and come back at it. And it was really hard to, if you look at that fight, you can't sit there and say that fundamentally I really lacked in a certain area of my game. The only thing that we could do is heal up and get back at it. And that's exactly what kind of the message was, it's like, hey, crap happens, heal up, come back, train hard. Now you know that, you're not as limber as maybe you used to be. So get some stretching in and, do what you have to do to make sure your body's healthy to keep fighting. So that's what I've done.
I've asked a lot of fighters this. I believe I've covered the UFC longer than anybody in the country, going back to UFC 11. How much can you hear outside of the cage, and how can you block fans out, block this out, but you're able to hear Greg or whoever in your corner?
Yeah, I think just from training constantly, from being in the gym, from talking and all that kind of stuff to my coaches, it's like it's kind of like a baby when, it can't talk and all that kind of stuff. And, some babysitter's trying to put the kid down or something, and then the mom walks in and, the baby can hear the voice, and all of a sudden the baby calms down, or vice versa. The baby's calm, hears mom's voice, and gets all upset. You tend to be able to tune into your coach's voices. I don't really hear, I don't hear fans, I don't hear somebody else's coaches. I just tune into my own coaches, and it actually took me about a fight, 3-4 months of that to get used to Coach Jackson's voice, Coach Wink's voice. My first fight with Rob Broughton, it was really confusing because I had to try to listen for Coach Jackson, and it really kind of threw me off.
Final question for you. I know you got things to do and you want to go, chill and relax and do some of the other stuff that you're going to do. With all the hoopla that's going on up in Boston, and I know on Friday the Patriots are playing and the Red Sox are playing, and I know a lot of guys are getting out. Will you go and try to do some of that stuff, or are you in the hotel room off your feet, all concentrated and worried about Saturday?
Yeah, it just kind of depends on what goes on. And how I feel and stuff like that. Usually after weigh-ins, I go straight to a dinner with my loved ones and try to spend some time with them. But I also wouldn't mind going out and getting out a little bit and getting away. Kind of almost getting a little bit maybe distracted from everything because, for the last, what's it been, 3 months now, I've been focused on Alistair and focused on this fight and ready to go. And so nothing's going to change. My mental state isn't going to change right now. I'm not going to, all of a sudden not be ready to fight Saturday if I go to a game on Friday. So we'll see how it goes. But, PBE, play by ear.
2 days away to worry about it.
Do you do anything afterwards? Exactly. Do you stay and hang out for a day or two and enjoy your time then?
Me and my girlfriend, we were just talking about that, and we might do that here in Boston because we don't get to come out here very often. It's not like a Las Vegas trip or anything like that. So we're thinking about pushing our flight maybe to Monday and coming out and kind of going out for the day and seeing what's going on, catching a Red Sox game. I'm a fan and friend of Shane Victorino, so I would definitely love to go support him. Like he's going to come support me Saturday.
Aren't we all friends with Shane?
Yeah, lovely guy.
Yeah, he's definitely a good guy. And which brings me into my next and last question. At the press conferences all the time, the media is always asking Dana, when are we going to Mexico? When are we going to, Puerto Rico or Colombia or wherever? I mean, can you throw a question to him, or I'll do it as well, but maybe coming from you, it'll mean more. When will they go to Hawaii? I'm really looking forward to getting out there.
I think they need a reason to go to Hawaii, and I think I'm that reason. There's some guys in the UFC right now. We had like BJ Penn and Kendall Grove, me, and now we have Max Holloway and Brad Tavares and Yates and stuff like that. So I think they need a strong enough reason to go there to get the venue all set up, because that's the other thing too. If you look at Hawaii, on Oahu they have two venues. One is Blythedale, which holds maybe 3,000 people at most. And they have the Aloha Stadium, which is not covered, which would have to be like an outdoor event. But what are you going to do if it rains there because the weather's so unpredictable? So that's like a big thing that they're having trouble with. Otherwise, fight fans there's enough guys in Hawaii. They'd have 4 or 5 guys from Hawaii fighting on that card. But I think really what it's coming down to is the venue, and I think the government might be trying to get involved a little too much over there as well.
Well, between riding your back and riding Shane Victorino's, hopefully we can get that done, and I can get out to Hawaii.
Oh, I'd love to. Don't send me a good time.
It would definitely be cool. Travis, thank you very much for your time, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Thank you, my friend. We'll see you.
Travis Browne, everybody, takes on Alistair Overeem this Saturday. It's going to be a barn burner.
Is your significant other nagging you about cleaning out the garage? Or spending too much on a storage unit? Needing to sell or purchase new or used equipment for your business? PostShareSell.com is your solution. A cool and innovative way to buy, sell, or trade online. With an easy-to-use mobile phone app and built-in sharing capabilities, post a free ad in less than 60 seconds. PostShareSell.com. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Post it, share it, sell it.
I'm pumped about that fight. I'm just telling you, it has the potential, to
a slobber knocker,
be a knockout of the night, be fight of the night, without looking at the rest of the card. And, I know it's a stacked card, which I'll be able to see. Hopefully you guys will be able to see it as well.
Hopefully.
Somebody's going to sleep.
I think it's going to, I think the whole Fox, cable, direct, dish, Brighthouse, whatever, I think it'll get done.
They'll get done at 4:30 on Saturday?
Yeah.
Starts at 5, right?
Well, no, I think it starts at 4:30. I think the first fight's at 4:30.
4:30? So it will get fixed
Well,
at 4?
and that's true. It not 4:30 on Fox Sports. I think there's a couple Facebook, and then the rest are all on Fox Sports.
I think there are 3
Yeah,
fights.
didn't we talk about this last time?
Yes, we did.
So.
Yep. That is a true statement.
And he is correct. A lot of times you need a reason, you need an athlete to build the card around to go to these locations. They've been talking forever about Mexico. Well, they were going to use Kane for that. And even though they're not in Mexico, they're pretty close.
Houston's just as good.
I'm keeping all those other comments to myself. But yeah, it's pretty close. It's pretty good. So, like I said, Travis was on, that path. And I think a win over Overeem shoots him up 2-3 spots, maybe.
Yeah.
Depending. Sean, do you have the rankings up?
Depending on how the fight goes down and all that kind of stuff, obviously. But if it's an impressive knockout, and I know a lot of people are not predicting that, but if it is, then, he shoots up a little bit.
He's 8.
Is he 8?
Yeah.
All right. So if he's 8, he moves up to 6. Who's 7?
Is Roy Nelson.
All right.
When is the Cormier fight?
That would be October. I think it's like October 17th, 19th, something like that.
Houston?
Yeah, that's the Houston stack too. All these cards are pretty impressive. The 2 Vegas back-to-backs, I think, are pretty good, and that's not the the TV specials and this special and the night specials, just the pay-per-views themselves. Why is everybody looking at me like
No, just waiting for you. I'm trying to get the rankings.
I'm going to future
UFC
cards, yeah, to see what else
he might.
they're
Well, I
offering.
would say with a win he would jump Nelson.
I see. I don't know. I don't know. Now, definitely. Well, you can't say definitely.
Well, Nelson, his
Cormier's
last
not
fight,
even-
he lost.
Right.
Nelson lost.
But if Nelson is listed above him
for the moment,
I'm just saying it's tough to move a guy down when he doesn't fight. I know you always bring up the NCAA rankings and all that kind of stuff, and things happen. And again, depending on if Travis Browne wins, and depending on how Travis Browne wins, then it's a very good possibility, to leapfrog. Who's above Nelson?
Frank Mir is 6, Overeem is 5.
All right. What ifs, and I hate what ifs. What ifs suck. But if I'm going to move him above
Roy Nelson,
I'm going to move him above Frank Mir, I think.
Frank Mir fights before Nelson as well. Frank Mir fights at UFC 164 on the last day of this month. That's the Milwaukee card.
Who's he fighting?
Josh Barnett,
Okay.
co-main event.
It's interesting.
Barnett is ranked 10th
How can you rank a guy that's never fought
in the organization.
This time around.
I understand that, but I'm saying I am one of those voters, and I don't have him ranked. He hasn't fought yet. I just find it difficult to rank a guy that hasn't fought in the organization yet.
I'd like to see who's 11th or 12th and see who he's beating out, whose spot he's taking right now.
And I'm not saying that Josh Barnett is or isn't a top 10 fighter. I don't know.
Because he hasn't had a chance to prove it in this organization. That makes sense.
Until you fight UFC competition, how can you be ranked in the UFC rankings?
Sure.
And again, I don't hold the Strikeforce stuff. I don't hold, any of that other stuff. I'm just talking straight, flat out, UFC stuff. So I don't know how you can do that. We do have some stuff to give away. I know that we haven't done that tonight yet. So why don't we do a contest for the fights on Saturday?
Pick.
We will do a pick the entire card. So if you can get, tweet it all out, and, we'll do that over the next couple days and run it by that. And I have to check a number out here real quick.
Okay.
Which tiebreaker do you want to do? Now, normally we do who's on the program. We had Travis on, and we will have Mike Browne here on momentarily. So you tell me.
Let's go with... Wait, where is Mike Browne? That is down there. So let's stick with main event.
I would go with the Mike Browne fight, because most people who don't pay attention will just pick the main card, so they'll get a chance to be in the tiebreaker.
Good call.
I like the way you think.
Good call. And where on the card, is Mike Browne?
That is the second prelim fight.
Okay. I remember vividly, and it's so ironic because I ran across Monster Lobster the other day, and I saw him at one of my Apple trainings over there at the Apple store. Hey,
big shout out to the Apple store.
Big shout out to them, and it's really worth the $100 where you can get a training session every day if you want. It's enabled me to learn how to put some of these videos up, which we're going to start doing, more and on a regular basis. I remember vividly when Monster Lobster, we went to his restaurant, and he not only predicted, he guaranteed that Mike Browne would defeat Uriah Faber for the title.
I remember that.
And I'm like, huh? He goes, I'm telling you. And this is, they're from Maine. They got that lobster thing going and all that kind of stuff. And sure enough, this will be the first time on the program that Mike Browne will be back on since he talked about the retirement. So without further ado, it is the Browne Hour. Travis Browne at the top of the hour. At the bottom of the hour, Mike Browne. Mike, how are you?
I'm good, man. How's everything?
I appreciate your time. And last time we spoke, you were using the R word on this program.
Yeah, I'm just getting up there in age, man. You got to start thinking about the future.
So what was the turnaround? Just getting away from it for a little bit and get rejuvenated, or?
Yeah, getting healthy, man. Take care of my body, and had to, go through some things. Had a neck surgery and got my neck sorted out, and put myself back together, and I've been training now for, I had surgery last September, and so I've had plenty of time to heal up and feel good, and it's time to move forward, feeling good.
If you can pinpoint it, the feeling that you have today, leading up to the return on Saturday in Boston on Fox Sports 1, hopefully it'll be on cable and Dish and Direct, and I'm sure it'll all get done. Go back in your career, and where were you when you felt the way that you're feeling now, if this question makes sense?
Man, many times in my career I felt this good. I'm injury-free, and my gas tank is to the max. I'm feeling great shape. Everything's dialed in, so it's as good as I've ever felt. We'll see if it translates to to fight. It's weird. Sometimes you feel terrible and fight amazing, so you never can tell. But I do feel great. My body's healthy, and I'm in great shape. So that's all I can ask for.
15 months since your last fight. Is it like riding a bike?
I think so. This is the longest layoff I've ever had, but I'm never out of the gym for very long. So even though I haven't been in the ring, I was in the gym continuously. I don't take very long vacations, a week max. But I'm a gym rat. I'm always in there learning and improving, and I never stay outside the gym. So even though I wasn't in the ring, I was training and around the game and improving and, playing with techniques and stuff. So I think that's important. After a fight, I think it's weird when guys disappear and out in the gym, because I just think people are always improving and the sport's always evolving. If you're not in there and all the time, then, man, people are evolving without you.
And it's not like this is, your third or fourth or sixth fight. I mean, you've been in this game for a long, long time. So I would expect it to be like a bike, but I don't know. I've never been in a cage or a ring, so I don't know. About.
I think that'll be fine. I don't think there'll be any ring rust or anything like that.
What's it like
I'm always in the gym?
What's it like fighting? Again, you won't know till Saturday, but kind of being, in the home turf area of the Northeast.
Man, it feels awesome. It feels really cool. We just, took a ride to the Whole Foods, and it's just cool driving through the city and being back in Boston. And it feels like home. It feels really cool. It's cool to see a Dunkin' Donuts every street corner again.
and it's probably good to be in an area where people say you don't have an accent.
Yeah. I don't have one. Not very much. Like I've been out of New England for almost 10 years now, so only when I drink I hear it comes out. But yeah, I don't have much of one.
Every once in a while, you can pick up a word or two. Big deal, yeah. Not a big deal. The change of opponent.
No, not a big deal. But both similar styles. Both right-handed, both kind of well-rounded guys. Neither guy was like dramatically better at one thing. It wasn't like I was fighting an amazing wrestler or something like that. They're both, well-rounded MMA guys, both right-handed. So. Slight changes, but not huge changes.
We just had Travis Browne on, and I asked him, with everything that's going on up there in Boston, you also have the Patriots playing the Bucs, you have the Red Sox playing the Yankees, a decent rivalry. Will you get out at all, or will you stay in the hotel and just, keep feet up and be prepared?
No, I'm gonna stay locked down. I usually do. I got enough to worry about, and it's about saving my energy. Losing the weight and everything dialed in and staying focused. I don't like to do too much on fight week.
Run through the, best case scenario. What's going to happen Saturday night in your fight?
Best case scenario is I come out and drop him quick with a big shot, because that's what I'll do. I'll be throwing big shots. So if one lands, he'll go down and I'll jump on him and finish him, and it could be quick.
I believe in karma, and I was just telling the guys here in the studio, I was at the Apple store 3, 4, 5 days ago, and I ran into a good mutual friend of both of ours, Monsta Lobsta. And
all right, yeah.
He's down for a couple days, and then he'll head back up to Miami. But I was telling the story how I was at Monster Lobster a few years ago when he didn't predict, he guaranteed your victory over Uriah Faber. So showing a little love there with Alan Berube, now back in the Tampa Bay area.
Is he? I know he's back and forth now from Maine to Tampa. I think he's up and back to his hometown. I think. I don't know if he's living there permanently or not, but I think he's going back and forth.
Yeah, he is. He told me that he's up there 3 weeks, and then he comes down here for a month, and he's in some new kind of business, and then he comes down and teaches people stuff. He's out of the restaurant business. I think he's out of the car business, and he seemed really happy, and he seemed to be in a good place.
Cool, very cool.
Which it also sounds like you're in a good place as you're getting ready to get back into the octagon on Saturday.
Man, I'm happy to be back, man. It's I forget how exciting it is and how much fun it can be. It's and part of me, I've been coaching a lot and going on a lot of fight trips. So being here, it almost feels like I'm coaching. I feel like I'm here, but I'm like, oh, this time it's for me. I'm not here for somebody else. It's a little strange.
Where do you see this going? You win on Saturday. Long term, I understand it's a new 5-fight deal. Kind of give me, what's next, what's down the road.
Man, I'm a short goal guy, man. I like short-term goals. I've always have been, man. I don't try to look too far in the future. I really want to get this win. Fight this fight, get a win, and then see where I'm at there. That'll be 3 in a row, and it'll be nice to get back after a long layoff. So I don't want to get ahead of myself. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens on Saturday. As always, Mike Browne, thank you very much for your time. Before we let you go, please feel free to mention any of your sponsors, any of those companies that make your life a little bit easier.
Yeah. Thanks a ton, man. Thanks, of course, American Top Team for getting me here, and Top Secret Nutrition is they're dialing me in for the supplements and getting my diet right and all that. And Booster Fight Gear. That's the stuff I've been wearing and training with, and I'm feeling good doing it. So thanks to everyone that's helped me.
Mike Browne, thank you very much, and I will see you Saturday up there in Boston.
All right, take care, man.
Mike Browne, you can follow him on Twitter, Mike Browne, MMA.
Is your significant other nagging you about cleaning out the garage? Or spending too much on a storage unit? Needing to sell or purchase new or used equipment for your business? PostShareSell.com is your solution. A cool and innovative way to buy, sell, or trade online. With an easy-to-use mobile phone app and built-in sharing capabilities, post a free ad in less than 60 seconds. PostShareSell.com. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Post it, share it, sell it.
Yeah, we will do a PostShareSell.com prize pack for the picks on Saturday. Full card. The tiebreaker will be the Mike Browne fight. And the PostShareSell.com prize pack will include a UFC hat, a UFC keychain, some UFC stuff, as well as some PostShareSell stuff as well. And let me just throw this out real quick. It's really wise when you win some of this stuff to post pictures of it, because I tend to send more stuff when I see pictures. Like Brian, sent a picture. He met somebody, I don't remember who it was wearing the Knockout Radio shirt, and I sent him more stuff. So I'm moving storage units. I see how much stuff I have to give away. So please win this stuff so I can send it to you.
I bet you've accumulated just an incredible amount
plethora
of stuff.
Well, I get stuff, honestly.
A myriad, if you will.
We get stuff mailed here to the studio literally every day. Mm-hmm. Of stuff to give away. We have some of those, which we're going to start doing. We haven't done it yet. I do have a couple of those extended batteries for any, it's not
lifesaver.
They really are. So you can recharge your computer, your iPad, your iPhone, your Galaxy, your whatever. And I am going to get some of those in, and we will start giving those away.
Real quick, going back to
Take your time.
Mike Browne.
This is your show. Take your time.
He sounded, to me, I thought he sounded fairly confident about trying to stop the fight early. And that would be huge considering the layoff and the fact that this would be his first non-decision in the UFC. Every single, all 4 of his fights have gone to decision, and he's been 2-2.
That's what you took from the interview?
That was
no.
That was part of.
I'm just
what
asking.
I did.
What I took from that interview?
I also. Sure, go ahead.
No, go ahead, finish.
That being said, I also thought he was a little. He was pretty humble and just sort of up in the air. But I thought he was thinking that he has a shot to end this early.
Now you want to know what I took from it?
Sure.
If that's his excited self, I would really hate to talk to him when he's down. He was like, I'm really excited. Now, I've known Mike for a couple of years now, so it's not like I'm saying anything that people don't know. But if that's his excited voice, wow. I hope he doesn't do those book reads, when he's not excited.
That would be boring as hell.
Well, he's just, he's just
like
there.
He's
just like the book.
He's calm and reserved.
Run down the card. Since we're going to do the pick giveaway for Saturday night, full card, and I hope you're tweeting that out. I know a lot of the Randy Brigade will. We need to come up with a new name, by the way.
I said all 13 fights.
Okay.
That includes Facebook.
If you guys can go to work over the next week, I want to change the Randy Brigade.
We work during the week?
Well,
we work on Wednesdays?
Wow.
What?
Well, since you don't work on Wednesdays, that's why we're moving to Thursdays.
Gotcha.
Just in hopes that maybe you will work on Thursdays.
We do work on Wednesdays.
But I do want to change that. I always use that hashtag Randy Brigade, and I'm not taking away from anything, and we kind of use the brigade because of the quote-unquote Bubba Army. But now that Shannon uses that as well, I want to be different. So
changing nights, changing names.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Well,
a fresh look.
Changing nights, changing hashtags.
Well, yeah, changing follower names.
So if you guys can work on it, if people that are listening, want to tweet out, when Grossman listens on Thursday, he can do the same. Just give me your opinion.
Do you have a certain theme you want to stick with?
Don't care.
You doesn't have to be military, army at all?
Don't care.
Like that?
Don't care.
Okay.
Just let's come up with something cool and let's get it trending.
So not Randy's Regiment?
Again, if that's the best that we come up with, then
I already got one. I'll say
then we're in trouble.
Oh, you have one that you can't say on the air?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then that's one we won't be using. If you can't say it. So just something here, let me see. I'm a really bad radio that we're doing right now. Yeah, I don't think we're going to go with that. But if somebody can come up with it, we'll hook them up with a really sweet prize. I'm working on something next week, by the way. The World Bar Arm Wrestling Championship. I'm going to try to confiscate a couple posters that they're going to have with Michael Todd, who's the number 2 arm wrestler in the world, along with John Jones, the number 1 mixed martial artist in the world. Both will be on this poster. I'll try to confiscate 1 or 2 of those.
I don't think that's even arguably anymore.
Honestly, I don't think it was arguably when it was arguably.
In your opinion?
In my opinion. Yeah. And like I said, I made the change, and the change was there before the fight. Yeah. And it was there, events before. It wasn't like just done before then. So whoever comes up with the new hashtag, we will definitely hook up. We're also going to be giving away here shortly when Envoy Collectibles starts promoting the big event with Mick Foley, who's coming to the Tampa Bay area. We're going to do some meet and greets with him. I think Jake the Snake, I was told, will also be there. We haven't talked any wrestling lately. So we'll be hooking up some listeners with that in the Tampa Bay area within driving range, so you don't have to live here. Grossman drove the 2.5 hours to meet DDP and Sergeant Slaughter. So we will have that shortly.
So going over the card, do you want to do the prelims first or the main card first?
I would say let's start prelims.
Okay.
And let's kind of work our way up.
Okay, let's not talk about Facebook because we only have about 10 minutes left. So first fight of the night on free TV, Diego Brandao and Daniel Pineda.
Well, and if you look at the prelims, the first 3 fights, we just had Mike Browne on, and McGregor's getting all this love.
Because of the Marcus Brimage fight.
And because it's in Boston.
It's Boston and the Irish and all that kind of stuff. So those first 3 fights on the prelim, and as a matter of fact, the main event on the Facebook card, so 4 in a row.
Manny Gamburian, yeah.
Featherweight fights.
Those tend to be exciting.
To some. I'm saying to some.
I think they are. I mean, even though I am more the type of guy who likes to see 2 guys just absolutely throw and fight finish early. These are guys who are going to be sometimes more technical. Sometimes they will stand and throw and get points.
So why do so many fans dislike this division? Now you're a guy that likes it, so it might be difficult for you to even answer.
Yeah.
But there's so many people they're always bitching about it. They don't like it. They don't whatever. And you're right. A lot of these smaller weight divisions are very exciting fights.
There's a lot of action that goes on. They have the cardio. They use the cardio. They don't stand in one spot because they are trying to cut corners. I mean, I guess I would call lightweight still a smaller weight class. There was the Pettis Henderson fight in the WEC. They're doing stuff like walking up the walls. So I mean that's something you don't get to see all the time. And you're not necessarily going to see them lay on the ground and utilize ground and pound. So they're running around, there's action, there's stuff going on, and it won't necessarily be ended early, but there's always that puncher's chance. So, yeah, I do like when fights go that way.
Jump up to the main card real quick. Joe Lauzon going to be fighting in his backyard. I've seen some things on the internet that people are predicting Michael Johnson to win this fight. I believe Johnson's lost his last 2 fights. Lauzon lost his last fight, but he's fighting at home. I think that the crowd, I think everything about that, and it's Joe Lauzon.
That's a hard thing to look past is just the fact that it's Lauzon. He's put together some pretty incredible fights over the years, and his grappling is obviously top notch. So you put everything together, the fact that it's in Boston, and it's hard to look past him. I have Lauzon, my pick.
The next fight of the night, and the little bit that I have seen, and I've kind of complained that we haven't seen a lot of trash talking. We haven't seen a lot of Twitter. We haven't seen a lot of the typical build-up, but I believe I saw something from John Howard saying how overrated Uriah Hall is.
I did not see that. I still have not seen much for this entire card.
Well, that's the little bit that I saw. Like I said, I haven't seen a great deal, but I like that. I like that, I like a little of the talking. Somebody is saying something, and let's see. Let's see what. Granted, I would have rather seen Josh Saman fight Uriah Hall. It was the People's, what was it? The People's Tournament, the People's
Finale.
The People's Finale, the whole 9 yards. I was really looking forward to it. I saw somebody post that Josh Saman really wasn't hurt and he didn't want this fight.
That is not true at all.
Well, we know that for a fact.
I cannot imagine somebody would think that, though.
It's fans. It is fans. And what possibly will be the most exciting fight is your next one. Matt Browne, Mike Pyle. And I loved how Dana said, because they asked something to the effect of what's next for the one who wins or whatever. And he said, well, I will tell you this. The winner of this fight is 1 win away from being the winner of the next fight.
So basically nothing.
Well, he basically was saying the winner of this fight will then have one more fight, and if he wins that, could be in the running, could be in, title contention. But again, you never know. But I expect this to be the fight. This is the fight that is going to be outstanding.
So, and why are you saying that? Are you saying that it's going to be another barn burner? Are you thinking it's going to be ended early? What makes you so jazzed about this one?
I think this could be, and again, to me, fight of the night isn't a fight that's a knockout in the first round.
Right.
That's not fight of the night. And I never understood how if a guy gets totally dominated and that's fight of the night. I think this is a fight of fairly compatible opponents. I think they both could win this fight. And I don't want to say fairly easily. I think both of these guys could win this fight. I know Matt Browne has been on a roll. Mike Pyle always comes to fight, and it should be an exciting fight. There's not going to be any lay and pray stuff. There's not going to be guys running around. There's not going, you know what I'm saying? There's going to be action.
Well, and
from start to finish.
And they're both on a little bit of a roll. Pyle has won 4 in a row, and
3 out of those 4 were in the first round.
Yeah. And Browne has won his last 5, and those went a little bit longer 4 of those were in the second round.
Right, and I was just going to say that. The 4 out of the 5 in the second. Only the 1 went, into the third with the decision over Thompson. So I just expect this to be an awesome fight.
A good one, possibly the good one.
That's my
fight.
That's my pick for fight of the night.
Okay, all right. And then obviously we've already talked about it at some length. Reem and Browne, Travis Browne.
Yeah, well, you did skip over Uriah.
Sorry, you're right. I did.
I'm not sure that I would just necessarily jump over that.
I missed the J. I thought it was the other Uriah when I was looking through.
No.
That's why.
Okay.
So Uriah Faber, Yuri Alcantara.
Taking on a guy that is 28-4-1.
I'd say he's pretty good.
He is not bad. Been in the UFC 5 fights. But it's still Uriah. Uriah is that number 2 guy. And I know some people are predicting, but I'm not predicting that. And I don't like to make predictions. And I was talking to somebody at Zuffa today. I certainly don't like, making any kind of statement or any kind of prediction until I get up there, till I see him, till I see walkouts, till I see attitudes, till I see demeanors, till I see all of that. But it should be an exciting fight.
Again, it's tiny guys. This is what, bantamweight. I don't know. I mean, you have said plenty of times that the history, and especially considering how long Uriah has been in the UFC compared to Yuri. Well, I guess they've both been in for...
Yuri's been in for a little bit, and then I think he was WEC before then.
Correct, yeah. But just for one fight. Before that, he was still only fighting out of Brazil. So, if I had to pick, I guess Uriah is who I'd go for.
But sooner or later, these guys get old. You know what I'm saying? Uriah's been around for a long time. I'm not necessarily saying that for this particular fight, but I'm saying, yes, I'm a big believer in experience. I'm a big believer in who you fought, how long you fought, where you've been with the number 1 organization. But sooner or later, it's now too long. It's now too much.
Well, they're both pretty much a wash because Uriah Faber is 34. He's had 34 fights. Alcantara is 33, and he has 33 fights. So, and I don't know if you remember, but last week in one of the interviews, they said, yeah, at a certain point, experience is a wash.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that was Aaron Riley who said that.
So I'm not sure what I'm going to predict as sub of the night, but my fight of the night is Matt Browne. My knockout of the night is the Travis Browne Overeem fight.
Very awesome. Then, of course, we have the main event, Shogun, Sonnen. Who you got?
Again, I don't like making predictions early, but off the top of my whatever, I'm a Chael guy. I like what Chael has done, and when you look at, and we've talked about past experience, we've looked at, talked about who you fought, look at the guys that Chael Sonnen has lost to. I mean, we could say the same thing about Shogun as well.
Absolutely. He's a guy who has worn the belt. So...
But I don't look at necessarily, wearing the belt. I look at more... who you fought, who you lost to, what I'm saying, who you beat, who you didn't beat. I don't really want to make a prediction on this unless you absolutely, make me.
No,
and unfortunately, we're out of time. So with that said, hit us up on Twitter. Get your picks in. Winner will receive an awesome gift bag from postsharecell.com. Hit me up at Knockout Radio.
At KO Edge.
Sean KO Radio.
We will see you same time next week.